Hello, all again. Thank you all so much for joining, and thank you all for the support. Uh, and yes, welcome you all to another technical training session from Autel. So, before moving into the topic, let me introduce myself. Many of you might already know me from the previous training sessions. And for the people who are attending our training sessions for the first time, introducing myself, I am Vivek George, and I'm the technical support engineer at Autel for the region India, Middle East, and Africa. We'll be always there for you for your support, for the support. So now getting on to the topic we are going to discuss today. So in case if you didn't know about Autel's online programming for many vehicle brands, so I will introduce that in the beginning and then move on. So Autel supports online programming for a number of vehicle manufacturers. So primarily, let's talk about, in case talking about Mercedes-Benz and BMW online programming, we support online programming function subscription at free of cost. So you can download any number of softwares and program any number of vehicles and ECUs without any extra added cost. And that supports online programming and coding. So the next one is online coding for VAG group. Even we support online coding at zero cost. Any number of times you want to do it, you can do it without any subscription charges. And there is something else which many of our end users or customers doesn't know about, and a lot of inquiries come about it as well. How do you support, or how do Autel support programming for other vehicle brands? So Autel also has covered the part for it. As you can see, the J2534 programmer, this is a programmer which can be connected to any car brands, any cars, uh, and have an online subscription using your laptop, and connect this as a VCA, vehicle communication interface, and you can use this as a reprogrammer for any car brands you want. So that's pretty much about Autel's online programming support. So basically, Autel supports all online programming for all the brands. So today, let me put the spotlight. Yep. Okay. Now it would be better. So when we talk about online programming, at least some of you might be confused, what is online programming? And that's also a question which I get often. So what is online programming? So basically, when a new control module is installed into a vehicle, software codes are needed to activate that control module. By programming, code will be written to the module. So basically, you have a car, you're changing an electronic control unit, ECU, in a car. So, and once you fix that ECU into the car, nothing would happen because that ECU doesn't have any information into it. So you need to do an online programming function to input information and into that new ECU, to tell it, to give it instructions on how to perform its duties. So that's what we do on online programming. And why do we need online programming? Why do we need to do programming? So on programming, we can configure the control module, and we can even enhance the vehicle system. So yes, we'll talk more about that on the coming slides on how to do online programming and how we can make changes into online programming. So before moving, so yes, as promised, as the invitation said, today we will be focusing on BMW online programming. So how you can perform online programming on a BMW using Maxisys tool, Autel's Maxisys. So there are a number of tools Autel supports online programming on, beginning with Autel Maxisys Pro, MS908S Pro, Maxisys Elite, and the new Ultra series. All the 3 new models in the Ultra series also supports BMW Online Programming. So the topics covered today is BMW Online Programming, BMW Online Coding, Retrofit and Conversions for BMW, Cheat Coding for BMW, and Programming Follow-up routine for BMW. We'll keep this very quick. I won't take a lot of time of yours. And my aim of this webinar is to get you guys confident about this BMW online programming in less than 45 minutes. So I'm sure by the end of the session, you all will be ready to do online programming for any way. So our support, under BMW and Mini supports the same. So we support online programming for BMW and Mini, and second generation and above vehicles comes with online programming functionality. Then module support all control modules except the information computer, and year support up to 29, even 2020 models are supported. More detailed preview. So you can take a screenshot of this if you want to know the support, or you can visit our website autel.com to check the vehicle coverage. So these are pretty much all the models of BMW that we support. So even you can see the X7, G1 to new 7 series, all the new models are covered as well. Yes, so moving on. So before we go even further, I want to show you a video to give you an idea how this online programming works. So also make sure if you don't listen to the audio of this video, just put it on the comment.
Welcome to Autel training video. Before using the Maxisys Pro to perform ECU programming, connect the vehicle to a stable voltage supply. Make sure the battery clamps are properly fixed. Fully charge your Maxisys Pro tablet. Connect the Maxisys Pro tablet to the internet and make sure the network connection is stable to ensure a successful reflection operation. The Maxisys Pro system allows for either a wired or wireless network connection, either through Wi-Fi or by using the Ethernet cable supplied. To confirm the internet connection is successful, check the status icon at the bottom right side of the screen. Connect the Maxi Flash to the Maxisys Pro tablet using the USB cable. Tighten the mounting screws. Connect the Maxisys Pro to the vehicle with the supplied OBD2 cable. The Maxisys Pro makes ECU programming easy with its intelligent, menu-driven, step-by-step instructions. Let's proceed. On the main Maxisys menu, select the Diagnostics application to initiate an ECU programming session. Follow the on-screen instructions to turn the ignition on and then off. And then tap Readout Vehicle Data. After a moment, the basic vehicle information will display. There are 3 major function options available. To proceed to vehicle reprogramming, tap CIP. The vehicle's configuration will be retrieved and displayed. Read the screen carefully and confirm by tapping OK to proceed to the next step. At this time in the process, Maxisys Pro allows the user to tap the Edit button to perform customized SA configurations. If you choose to use this option, make sure to add or delete vehicle information correctly, because improper operations may cause abnormal vehicle performance. And then tap OK to proceed. Upon completion, tap ESC to finish. Tap Yes to save the revised information. After the configurations are confirmed, Maxisys Pro communicates with the vehicle to obtain the status of each control unit. This may take several minutes or longer, depending on vehicle specifications. Before proceeding to the vehicle reflection process, you need to confirm whether or not any control units have been replaced. Tap the Yes or No button accordingly. Tap the name of the specific control unit you want to reprogram, or select All if you want to perform a complete update. Tap Programming and Coding to proceed. Tap Selective Update to reprogram a specific control module separately, or perform a complete update by selecting all modules. Tap OK to proceed, and the information page will be displayed. Swipe the screen up and down to view all the information. Tap Execute Measures pane to continue. Follow the on-screen instructions to turn off the engine and switch on the ignition. Make sure the Maxisys Pro has a stable internet connection. The Maxisys Pro will automatically retrieve the newest update program and start the reflection process. When reflection a control unit, various special functions such as component adaptation or variant coding may be performed, and stored DTCs will be cleared. During the procedure, the control unit icon shows blue and the progress in percentage is displayed. This is an automatic procedure. It is recommended that you do not perform other tasks while the process is running. After reflection is complete, a report will be generated. Tap End Session to finish and return to the main menu. Tap Multitask to quickly switch to the main Maxisys menu. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or suggestions about our products, please visit our website or simply call us.
Okay, I hope you didn't fall asleep with that beautiful background music. So yes, as you might have all seen in that video, you saw that it's just basically pressing different buttons on the screen and understanding things. That's all it takes to do programming for a BMW. So, but there are certain things we have to take a close watch on, which are not really complicated, some easy steps, which include for the vehicle as well as for the diagnostic tool. So for the vehicle, when we begin, the main thing you should note down is engine must be standstill. So that means you shouldn't switch on the engine. It shouldn't just be on the ignition position. And engage parking brake. Okay, engage into park and actuate parking brake. Oil temperature should be below 80 degrees Celsius. Then switch off all the electrical components, including the radio, AC system, wiper, light. Until now, it's easy, right? Nothing complicated to be done. So that's then connect a battery stabilizer and set it between 13 to 14 volts. So while carrying out any sort of function, including programming or any other functions, it's always recommended to use a battery voltage stabilizer so that the voltage doesn't fluctuate as well as it doesn't drop. So many programming functions, actually even specific ones, request a certain voltage supply from the main battery for it to carry out the programming process. So these are some of the times where mostly people fail to do the programming because they don't have proper voltage supply and things like that. And do not drive the vehicle during programming. Yeah, that no one might do that. So, and don't try to do it. So do not switch on electrical consumers. This is the most important thing. So you might be in the car while doing programming. So, and you might have to wait for maybe some time while the programming process is going on. So don't feel like turning on the music, opening the door, closing the window. Keep yourself still for some time until the programming is finished, because it goes through a lot of process. So we don't want to interfere the car computer while this process is going on. And these are the things which you have to take a note on the vehicles. Some other things you have to take a note on the diagnostic tool as well includes the scan the vehicle and clear all the fault codes. So before you begin programming, make sure you clear all the fault codes. Backup vehicle individual coding data. So yeah, so it all happens, as I told you, there are different conditions that has to be met in case if it fails. So we have to take a backup of the existing software in the car. So the same version, we'll take a backup. You can do that. I'll show you how to do it now in the later slides, and it can be done on the same Maxisys tool which you are using to program the vehicle. So in case if something goes wrong, you can restore back the same backup data. Then connect the charger to the diagnosis tool. So charger of the diagnostic tool. So another important thing. So make sure the diagnostic tool doesn't go out of charge. So it should have power to carry out the full process. So if it goes out of charge, then the programming will fail and it might affect the car. So basically, make sure you need enough charge. So even if it's not fully charged, even if it's a small function you're doing, you might not need a charger, but make sure you have enough charge to carry out that process. You will understand better on the coming slides. Connect a USB while performing programming on Bluetooth. Programming off the Bluetooth. So basically, programming needs high-speed data transfer. So we cannot use a Bluetooth connectivity with the vehicle communication interface. So switch off the Bluetooth in the diagnostic tool and connect the vehicle communication interface, which is the J2534 reprogrammer, with the diagnostic tool using a USB. So use the same USB cable which you get with the Autel's package, Autel box. So because it has certain standards and specifications that has to be met to do an online programming procedure. So, and the last one, internet coverage must be strong. We are talking about online programming here. So when we talk about online programming, you need internet connection. So make sure you have a stable internet connection. I wouldn't say it should be really a fast connection or something, but make sure it's not slow and it is stable. So moving on now. So for BMW, we have two types of connections that are required for online programming. And these instructions will be given by the diagnostic tool when you perform for any particular car. So when you connect for a E series vehicles, which is the older models, use a USB cable to the connect the diagnostic tool to the J2534 reprogrammer with the USB cable, and connect the J2534 directly to the car through the OBD port using the OBD2 cable. So that is simple. The only thing is that you need to use a USB cable while doing this process, and the diagnostic tool will inform you about this as well while you carry out this procedure. And for the F and G series, which is the newer vehicles, you need the same USB cable connection, and you need to connect a network cable as well. So in order to connect the network cable, again, you will need a F Ethernet cable. So it's which has one point of a OBD2 port cable. So this is required, and this is usually you will get it with the diagnostic tool as well, and that is an optional cable, which is the F Ethernet cable. If you don't get it with the box you're purchasing it with, you can contact your dealer and purchase it separately. So yes, I hope you all know how to reach to this point where you come into the main menu after choosing the vehicle. So let's skip that part and directly go into programming. So you press programming and you enter into the vehicle's information page. So in the vehicle information page, it gives you a lot of information, including the paint code, chassis number, destination code, upholstery code, a lot of information. And the main thing which you could note down is the SA code, which is called the reference option code. So this is a set of code. So each code in these, for example, 220, 261, each code indicates different features or different functions in a car. So for example, as you can see, 1CA 212245, it represents each different features of a car or functions of a car of that particular vehicle. So the good part about this tool is you can directly remove a feature or edit a particular feature directly through the device. So if you go to edit option, you can erase a particular feature. You can take down a particular code. For example, 1CA, you delete that, and that function will be deleted from the car. And if, for example, if it serves a particular function in that car, and that particular function won't work anymore. So always make sure the beginners shouldn't try this. So only the experts who are sure about what they're doing can do this. So if they want to take out a feature or add a new feature into it, you can do it directly with this code. And make sure before changing anything in the system, take a photo or take a screenshot of this so you can retrieve back the old data. So for the beginners, I don't recommend you to do this, but yes, let's go through this easier way, and which takes a little more time. So once you go into the programming menu, you get this. So there is an option for initial report, vehicle details, programming coding, car or key memory, retrofits and conversions, program follow-up routine, and special measures. So we'll be talking about each of these menu in detail so that you would be familiar on handling those things by yourself when you're programming a BMW. So initial report is something what this is. So once you press initial report, you might be aware that each control module gets new updates, each functions gets updates from the manufacturer regularly. So you can use Autel tools to update the programs for any programs, you just by connecting a Autel tool into your car with a stable internet connection. For example, you can see a central gateway module as an update available. So the device informs you a list of updates you can perform or available for that particular car, and what is the current version and what is the new version available as well. And it even says if the vehicle, if you need to replace any components or replace any ECUs or put a software, some ECU doesn't have a software in it, it gives you all the information, including that, apart from just the software updates. And once you press vehicle details, so after initial report, next is vehicle details. So once you enter vehicle details, you get a lot of important information. So the car model, VIN number, odometer, uh, and upholstery code, all those things which I told before, and the integration level of that car. So this is the new integration level available, and this is the existing integration level of that car. So you can see if the car needs a total update into the new integration level or not. So easy to assess. And down the line, you will see all the SA codes which I have mentioned before, 3012 LAN system, all will be mentioned there. So just for your reference as a vehicle details. Then comes under programming and coding. So after initial report, then we saw the vehicle details. Now we are going to programming coding. So this is the main thing, where main things happen. So yeah, you can consider three sorts of different types of programming here. So just for your convenience. So scheduled update. Scheduled update is basically carrying out all the process which is required to be done on an initial report. As you've seen on the initial report, it lists out different uh, updates or different programs that the vehicle has to be done. So it collects all that information just on one go. You can directly go to scheduled update and do complete all the programming in which is listed on the initial report in one go. So you don't have to go find each module separately. So it will be listed down for you for your convenience in the Autel diagnostic tool itself. Then up next is the complete update. So complete update is the whole system update. I will show you a demo of that. I mean, some pictures of that as well. So it's basically reprogramming the full car, all the control modules in a car. And usually we don't do that unless it's not required. So, but yeah, it depends on the situation you are in. It depends on the situation the vehicle is in. So you can reprogram the whole car. Definitely for this procedure, make sure you are connected to a stable voltage supply for the car main power supply, plus your diagnostic tool also gets the enough power from the charger. Connect the charger to the diagnostic tool, as it might take a lot of time to reprogram a whole car. And selective update, which is most commonly we do, maybe every day we might need to do, is a selective update. So you can select which control module you want to update or program or code, whatever you want to do. So you can select one by one. So let's see how to do that. So this is the first one, schedule update. Schedule update, it will highlight it will only highlight the software updates or new software which is required, and directly takes you to the screen for programming for all the, if there are more in the list, or everything will be done in one go. So estimated total time of programming for this particular SNL gateway module update, it just takes 2 minutes. So you connect to the internet and it gives you an action plan where what will be done. It will show you it does the program. So it just does the program, nothing else. And you press execute measures plan, done. In 2 minutes, that will be sorted. And this is the complete update. Complete update is where you press the whole thing and you program, encode, press everything. Everything will be programmed and reprogrammed and coded to the latest software version available. And make sure there is another check option available, is the replace. Replace is where basically it asks you whether you have replaced that ECU or not. So only if you have replaced that ECU, you just need to you just have to tick on the replace option. Basically, after replacing a control module, you need to do a teach-in process. So if it's a old control module which was in the same car, and you haven't replaced anything in the car, and you just want to reprogram it, like just flash that control module, you don't need to do the teach-in process because it already has the information of the teach-in process. So you don't have to do a teach-in process. So you can skip that. You can just do these. So you can note down which one you have to choose. So you understand when you replace something, you need to press replace. That's all, as simple as that. And when we come to selective update, you can select the particular control module which you want to program or reprogram. If if you have replaced to a new control module, you can always press tick button, as I've said before, and carry out the procedure. So as I've told you before, you can enter the car or key memory option and from the main menu, and you can back up the vehicle individual coding data. So in case if you fail to finish the programming, so something happens, anything could happen. So like you lost the internet connection or things like that, or vehicle voltage supply drops down. So you can, in order to avoid those conditions, or in case if you don't want to be in trouble, you can always take a backup of the vehicle existing data, and you can restore that data back into the vehicle if the programming fails, just to be on the safer side. So I recommend you to back up the original data before carrying out programming for any new programming is done. So now let's talk about the program step. So for example, here we choose the driver seat module. It has been replaced, so you're going to program and code it. So up the next screen you get once you press OK is the action plan. Once you get the action plan, it tells you everything. So what is the date? What is the time? So make sure you have the right date and time set on your diagnostic tool so that it doesn't input the wrong date into the system. So date and time, then it gives you the chassis, model number, everything, and the integration level, the new and the old integration level. Then it gives you all the SA codes, which is on the car. And down the screen, it tells you estimated total programming time. So it basically takes 3 minutes to complete the programming in that particular way, in that particular control module. And it will, the action plan involves programming, it will do the coding, and it will also do the teach-in process because we have ticked on the replace option. Now ensure the diagnostic tool is connected to the internet. After pressing the execute measures plan, it goes to the next screen. Press OK. It will download the files directly from the Autel server, and once its download is completed, then it will automatically start the action plan. It doesn't need your assistance. It will do on its own. Once each program is done, it will show you it's successful and what's happening with the car. At the end, it will itself clear all the fault codes which is generated after programming. So basically that job, it's a 2-minute job done. And after the action plan is completed, you get a final report. So you get a report of what has been done, what is the integration, current integration level, how all the process actions have been carried out, everything was a success. So you get a final report just to make sure everything was done right, and you can even print it out and give it to your customer. So until now, we have seen something very usual what any garages would need. And now this is one step higher. So this is something only anyone could do, but something special you could offer your customers, or you could utilize the Autel diagnostic tool. So Autel has given this as a standard feature, so you can utilize this. So retrofits is another option from the main menu. So what retrofit means is, so you don't have a function, you are adding an extra accessory into the car, and that accessory needs a program. So I'm talking about the original equipment accessories, so not like a third-party accessories. So when you buy a hardware and fix it into that, so you can program that to a different car. Like for example, you want to convert the normal BMW cars into M kit cars. So for example, you are adding the M kit suspension, M Sport suspension into this vehicle. So you need to program M-sort suspension. You can't program as just a normal BMW suspension. You can go into retrofit and choose that option and program it accordingly. So everything will be set. So, and just like that, you can do a lot of things. You can change the oil interval from 12,000 kilometer oil to maybe 8,000 kilometer oil. And you can change the language. Sometimes you change the battery size. So when you're doing a battery size, you can, in the retrofits option, you have option to choose which battery size you want. And once you get into the menu, these are all the things you could do. And as you can see, there are 4 screens, a lot of things you could do. And here we are choosing a 90 amp hour battery. So it gives you the action plan. It says the car add a 110 amp hour battery. The software is changing to a 90 amp hour battery. So you can execute the measure plan, and then that's done. And like the retrofits, we have something called cheat coding. So cheat coding is something where we are changing the manufacturer specification on the car. So for example, you can change the speed limits. Uh, you can switch off the start stop button. Sorry, start stop function. So you can switch that function off. If you don't want particular acoustic signals like the sounds coming or alarms or something, seatbelt alarm, you can switch all those off. You can control it. You can play around with it. So these are the different things which includes. So lane assist alert. So if you don't want the lane assist warning coming up, showing up, some customers doesn't like it. So you can take it off for them. Digital speed display, active cruise control distance, you can alter them accordingly. Side mirror folding time, auto window lift. So you can activate and deactivate these functions. Then auto lock speed, seatbelt alert. You can switch off the seatbelt alert as I told you. Video settings, daytime running lamps. If you want to switch it off, yes, that's also optional. That you can do it as well. So according to your situation and needs, you can perform different programming functions. So that's why we call it cheat coding. So you can find this on the car key memory. You can go into cheat coding, and so you're in the car key memory and the cheat coding, and these are the different things you can change. Acoustic warnings is about the sounds. So anti-theft system, central locking, lighting, heating and air conditioning, display or languages, park distance control, power windows, and seat or mirror memory, power windows again, sorry, and others. So you choose one, you go to the acoustic warning, and you can see there are different acoustic options available. So you can activate or deactivate that. For example, seat belt warning, you can deactivate that if you want. Start stop system, you can deactivate that. So it won't, if you're annoyed by stopping in the traffic signal, you can this engine won't shut off. You can completely switch off that feature. Yes, that is pretty much everything you could do, and I hope you all are quite confident until now about programming. And this is almost the end now. And when we talk about more program follow-up routine, this is something which I told you already. This is called the teaching process. So once you replace something, so you don't want to carry out the programming and coding at sometimes. So you just want to do the teaching process. So that is usually a relearning process. Once you change, you're not changing the control model, you might be changing the seat of the vehicle, driver seat. So you want to do a teaching process. You can directly come to this menu and uh, carry out that feature. For example, initializing the power window regulator driver side. So that's what we are taking as an example now. So it gives you an action plan. So it gives you the integration level. It will give you the warning. So basically we are calibrating, it's kind of we can say calibrating the windows and the sunroofs again. So in case if it doesn't work properly, this is what we use as what a relearning process. So then it's done. It goes through, it carries out the action plan, and it gives you a report. And that's all the BMW online programming functions are. So I hope you all understood what I talked about. And this is everything that takes for you to do online programming on a BMW. And for Mercedes-Benz, again, we will have a next session next to next Thursday, which is 23rd of July, 2020 on the same time. So you will all receive an email on your email address directly. And I will register you all automatically into it. So you don't have to go through the process of registering again and again. Plus, you can always contact your dealers or directly contact me at imeasupport@autel.com for any help or suggestions on by purchasing any tool or how to carry out a process on BMW Online Programming or anything related to Autel. And this video session is recorded and it will be uploaded onto a Facebook page and YouTube channel, which is Autel IMEA. And now we will, and thank you also